As somebody who is so deeply involved in the world of fasting, what are the biggest mistakes you see people making on a regular basis?
It's such a good question. It's really loaded. So let me give you the most simple answer first, which is we do the same fast every single day, over and over and over again. It's, I call them the O matters. Most people got to this point as they started to learn fasting and they felt so good in their fasting window that all they did was eat one meal a day, usually dinner. And the problem with that is eventually you're going to get stuck because we have to, again, go back to our primal ancestors and look at how they lived. And they had a huge variation in when they got food and the timing of how they ate. So some days they would make a kill and they would have a feast maybe for 24 hours. They would have plenty of food, maybe 48 hours. And then they'd have to go back out again and start to find food, which is a fasted state. So when we come to fasting in this modern world, we really have to look at how do we vary that feast famine cycling. And when we're doing the same fast over and over again, it works in the beginning, but then you get stuck. So that would be the first one. The second one is that people think fasting is a free pass to eat whatever you want. And yeah, I mean, the research is pretty convincing that you can eat some pretty toxic food. And if you pair that with like a 16-hour fast, your metabolic markers will all regulate. It's pretty cool. But I've seen people eating the wrong oils, eating refined flours, drinking toxic ingredients like Diet Coke and NutraSweet laden foods. And what we're seeing is that it's really hard to metabolically switch. It's really hard when your toxic load is that high from food to get into the real healing power of the fat burning state. So I would say those are the two biggest. And then, of course, my passion, as you know, is that women are not timing it to their cycle.
Which we got into heavily in our last discussion. So we probably won't go too deep into that today, but we'll link up to that in the show notes. But I want to pick apart the first point there a little bit and get into the nuances. You mentioned there the fact that a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this too, where you find intermittent fasting and you find a cycle or an eating window that works for you and you just kind of stick with that.
Yeah.
But the way I see that, and this is just further elaborating on what you said there, fasting is a hormetic stress, a good stress on the body when it's done for the right amount of time, for the right person, yada, yada.
Yep.
But if you get into that cadence where you're doing the same thing every day, is it correct to see that as the body just gets used to that and then that becomes the new normal?
Yes, it's really well said. So think of it like exercise. If you go to the gym and you do the same exercise over and over and over again, at first you'll get some results, but then you're not going to get the results will be more minimal because the body is done adapting. We whenever we want to build the body stronger, we have to force adaptation. And what I saw with the 1 meal a day people and on my YouTube channel so clearly about, I don't know, 7 years ago, they all came onto my channel and I saw so clearly how people weren't mixing their fasts enough. And the classic statement was, I got great results with fasting and now those results have stopped. Basically, the interpretation of that is you're not applying enough hormetic stress. And so you have two moves at that point. You could either stop fasting for a week or two and then go back to it, or you could throw in some longer fasts and then go back into the shorter, which is, why I like to practice the 6 different length fasts that we talked about the last time.
When you mentioned there the fact that people hit a plateau and things don't continue to, improve with their health, are you generally speaking from a weight standpoint when they hit that plateau?
I think it's more than just weight. I mean, I think people notice the weight the most because that's what we're so focused on. But remember, when you fast and you switch over into this fat burning system, you are now in a healing system. So, you can repair your gut, you can reset the dopamine system, you can reset your immune system, you can get rid of senescent cells. I mean, there's so much magic over there. And so what most people notice is that they're not making as many ketones. They're not getting that same kind of really clear mind, powerful energy, great sleep. So it's beyond weight loss. They just noticed, God, I don't think this tool is working for me anymore. And if you think about it, Jesse, it's like every diet we've ever gone on, we do this. Right? We're like, hey, this is the greatest diet in the world. And then we go on it. We're like, oh my God, I got so many good results. And we stay on it, we stay on it, we stay on it. And then we go, wait, I don't think this diet's working anymore. So we're now applying the same thing to fasting. And if you want to overcome that, you're just going to need to keep dipping into the hormetic stress and use adaptation to your advantage.
If you enjoyed that clip, press here for the full episode. I'll see you over there.
But what we're doing right now is we're just having women push on through every day of the month, and that's destroying her hormones. And now you've got PCOS, you've got infertility, you have mood disorders, you have menopause, perimenopause, like